Jamie from Rugby Pass here. I'm with Martin Devlin from Radio Sport. Marty, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good, mate. Well, you know, last week, Bledisloe Cup, 54 points to 34. Did it remind you of a certain game in the past?
Reminded me of a couple of games, as a matter of fact. It's not the first time that the All Blacks have had huge leads and then kind of relaxed, or as Steve Hansen said, seduced by the scoreboard. One of them, of course, that springs to mind. We're going to Dunedin to play this test this weekend. 1997, 36-0 at half-time to the All Blacks. 24 points scored, unanswered by the Wallabies in the second half. Even 2013, the last time we played Australia in Dunedin, I think it was 44-30 something at the end, but it was 44-18 to start with, a 43-18. So look, this does happen. I just don't know how you can not take the foot off the pedal when you've got such a lead and the game's been won after 48 minutes and 54 points are scored.
One guy that I was looking at in the highlights reel last week, and I didn't really hear his name mentioned quite a lot, was Beauden Barrett. Is that got to be the most understated performance by him in a game that we won? We racked up 54 points.
I think that's what happens, doesn't it? You kind of get, to quote Steve Hansen again, seduced by the scoreline. There are so many tries, so much brilliance in the backline play, you tend to kind of forget who's orchestrating that or who's the guy that's actually pulling the puppet strings. Having Ben Smith alongside him, regardless of what position he's playing in the team, I think makes a huge difference for Barrett, because we know in broken play he's always looking for that guy. Plus the combination of Smith and Barrett, which last year was second to none, we got to see that again. That speed of pass that Aaron Smith gave, probably the best game he's played in a couple of years for the All Blacks, it just gives Beauden Barrett so much more time. He played outstanding, but tell me a member of the backline who didn't.
Well, I will mention one name to you, Sonny Bill Williams. Did he answer his critics?
When he got up off the ground after that, you know, and there's a lot of controversy this week and a lot of talk about that head knock that he took. He was wobbly. There's no question about that. The fact that everyone didn't see it or saw it and choose to look the other way, you know, the HIA really does need to investigate that. At the same time, did he answer his critics? Look, I still think we're waiting for the blockbuster performance from him. There are aspects of his game that you'd think if he could get that attached to this, he is an integral part of that side, and that's why they rushed him back in. I've got no doubts about his ability to play at that level. I just want him to put together all the aspects of his game in one performance. Whether we see that this week or not, I don't know.
Big question. You're Michael Checker. What are you telling the Wallabies this week?
First, I'm telling them is to forget everything about that first game, and that's their performance in the second half as much as it is ours. Second thing I'm telling them to do is, see the guy in the black strip there? Tackle. That's the second thing I'm telling him. And the third thing I'm telling him is to just forget about the consequence of what may or may not happen here. Go out and play what is in front of you. The bizarre thing was, for the first few minutes, they actually kind of looked as though they were competing. They won a couple of good penalties. They scored that. But then again, as soon as they made any mistake, we scored a try. So the first thing that I'd be thinking about him is just to get the defensive stuff out of your head and just tackle.
Okay, well, you mentioned Ben Smith earlier. It's his last game in the black jersey for a little while. Are you happy with what you saw from DMAC last week, that he's going to be the guy to lead us through to the end of the year?
I think that there's a couple of possibilities here. And if I was selecting, I would play Israel Dag at fullback, purely because of the defensive soundness that he provides under the high ball. He's got a booming boot on him as well. Ben Smith is the best fullback in the world. We're going to lose him. Damien McKenzie in that kind of game, absolutely outstanding. Under the cosh, in South Africa, that could be a different set of circumstances. The good thing is, as far as New Zealand rugby goes, is that once again, we're arguing about 2 or 3 guys for a position. This is the luxury that we have that a lot of teams in the world don't.
Okay then, score prediction and what's going to happen?
The All Blacks are going to win this game.
Yep.
No question about that, because we are a better team, and it would be a monumental upset in every single way if we didn't win the game. Is it going to be tighter? Well, that is up to the Australians, isn't it, as to whether they tackle or not. I think that the All Blacks are going to be really concerned about the fact that they buttoned off. But you bring back Dane Coles, which is a weapon in itself, and this is a guy that has got so much to prove and wants to play. I think that is going to be a huge part of the game. Ben Smith playing in Dunedin, his last game as well. I'd say that this is the All Blacks again. Certainly not by that amount of points, but maybe the points differential spread of 20 could be roughly about the same.
Right, some good thoughts there. And of course, it's been a pretty big week, up and down for New Zealand rugby. We lost Sir Colin Meads the other day, so the All Blacks got a lot to play for there. And also, just a big shout out to the Black Ferns World Cup final this weekend. I'm sure they're going to win it, and we're going to have 2 World Cup trophies in our cabinet. Now, for everything you need to know about the world of rugby, remember to check out rugbypass.com. It's your #1 global rugby website. I'm Jamie, he's Martin. Enjoy the game.